Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Sir Keir Starmer is the 58th Prime Minister of this country. He's also the first to be loathed as quickly and as deeply as he has been. But why? I mean, his fall from grace has been comically quick. You couldn't write it if it was a yes Prime Minister or a thick of it or something like that. That's the only time you would see this sort of thing happening. And even then, it would be comedic relief. It would just not be real. It would be obviously a satire. But we seem to be living in a satire now. But when you look, it's easy to see. They had a manifesto. Nothing on that manifesto is being pushed. All the things they're doing are things that weren't on the manifesto. Handing over the Chagos Islands, not on the manifesto. Cutting the winter fuel allowance for pensioners, not on the manifesto. And it goes on. There's lots of them. Every single thing they've done, not on the manifesto. Things on it, not being touched. It's also the reversal of well-held points. Things he said before. He was towing the line on Israel beforehand. Oh yes, Israel, our long-standing ally in the region, because he's sucking up to the Americans. Then as soon as he becomes Prime Minister, stop selling them weapons. Let's back the enemy of Israel. And of course, he's got nothing that he can offer. There is not one salve he can apply to anything they've done. He cannot name one thing that's positive, one thing he's done for the people. His only good action, I suppose, is hastening his own end. I suppose that could be there. But since taking the power, he's forgotten that he's the Prime Minister of a country. He's acting like the dictator, like a president of the country. He seems to think all power resides with him. And that's not how we work. But it's there. He's narcissistic. He's power mad. He literally has lost the plot. And yet he looks at his landslide victory in terms of seats and he fails, I think, to recognise that it was only 20% of the electorate. And I think that come every single election from now until the next general, he'll find that out. Why is the man so incapable? I think it's because he doesn't relate to human beings, and I'm pretty sure it's because he's not. There's something broken in his head. It was almost immediately after taking the reins that he had to go up to Southport with that terrible, tragic event there. And he marched up and he did not even turn his head to look at the people or acknowledge the people. It was like, I must be here. Lay wreath, look sad. Oh, let's get out of here quick. He didn't talk. He didn't relate. Charles went up. Now, Charles, the king, went up. And before he went to the spot, he'd talked to all the families. He'd visited the area. He looked around to see the scene, to see what the area was like. He went to that spot. He talked about how sad it was, how tragic it was. He talked about healing. He went and talked to people. Starmer could never do that. Starmer hates people. Starmer, I think, is very, very autistic. And I'm not saying this as an insult. I've got Asperger's. I'm on the spectrum. I recognise it in others. Starmer is definitely autistic. And that's why when he walks, he always looks straight ahead. He doesn't look to the side. He does not want to recognise that there are people there. He does not want to acknowledge that they exist. He does not want to have any communications with them. And that's why he's so removed. And that's why he's not concerned. And that's why everything is take, and not give. And it's pathetic, really, how this man somehow, amazingly, has got to the top. And then, of course, you have all the sleaze. And he seems confused. I think the man is deeply confused because he thinks that just because it's within the rules, that makes it somehow right. And, of course, the people of the country don't think it's right. Sure, if you're travelling and you put in a claim because you had to travel somewhere as part of your job, absolutely claim it. But when you're given £20,000 worth of clothing here, £5,000 worth of spectacles there. Another man is buying underwear for your wife. Free tickets, hospitality, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds. Apparently, because it's within the rules, that's acceptable. It's not, of course. And he doesn't get why people don't think it's right. He does not understand people's righteous anger over this. Oh, and I borrowed my friend's £18 million penthouse so my son would have somewhere quiet to do his GCSEs, even though the dates didn't match up. Well, there you go. I don't have a friend with an £18 million penthouse. And when my son was doing his GCSEs, he couldn't pop into that. And 100 years ago, back when dinosaurs ruled the earth and I was doing my O-levels, I didn't have an £18 million penthouse either. I just had the kitchen table. This man seems to think that his world is everybody's world. He doesn't understand. And then he claims, oh, I'm working class. My dad was a toolmaker. Your dad owned the factory. Working class, my arse. And they're all desperate to appear working class, aren't they? Oh, yes, I'm working class. I spoke to a poor person once. I'm working class. I happened to drive through Brixton by accident. And they're all doing it. And those who are genuinely working class have crawled through shit and mud to climb the greasy pole. Haven't they, Angela? Changing the rules, buying your 3 houses, taking full advantage of your tax breaks, and then clucking it off for everybody else. Yeah. You talk about your working class roots, but you're so ashamed of them, you don't want anyone else to lift themselves out of it. Again, not in touch with the people. So it's not just Starmer, of course, it's the whole of the Labour Party. They've got in and it's screw you. And not one thing are they giving. Not one thing. Now, we've got the scary budget, a Halloween budget, and you can guarantee that the tax allowances won't go up again. They'll be frozen again, which in effect is an increase in income tax, because you need to have a cost of living increase on that. Otherwise, it's an increase. So that'll go up. Guarantee they'll put up national insurance rates, or thresholds at least. Corporation tax going up. Tax. Take. Give? Nothing. Nothing, that is. Unless you've come off a little boat. Then you get everything. Let me know what you think. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.